Looking for quality, tasty, and easy to prepare meals? Look no farther. M&M Frozen Foods, proudly distributed by United Distributors Limited, brings you a wide range of delicious frozen delights, perfect for every occasion. From frozen pizzas, quesadillas, garlic bread, jumbo samosa, cocktail samosas, pizza pockets, spring rolls, and happy noodles, M&M Frozen Foods is fresh, flavorful, and convenient for busy lifestyles. Whether you're planning a quick dinner, hosting a gathering, or stocking up for the week, M&M Frozen Foods has you covered. Available now at leading supermarkets and stores nationwide through United Distributors Limited. M&M Frozen Foods, extensive variety to satisfy every craving.
Enables the growth of communities and country. That has been the constant mission of the MIDH. The upgrading of the Guinea Grass Road has forged a vital link between the vibrant and productive communities of Shipyard, Guinea Grass, and the rest of Belize, which allows the smooth movement of goods and services. The transformation provided by meaningful infrastructure is very real.
We had really been struggling to transport these hoses on these roads, right? Since we have all the holes in the roads and stuff like that. We do not have that issue anymore, right? So now when we are delivering a hose, it comes to its location in a 100% complete product, right?
Before this highway came into place, this Tower Hill to Guinea Grass highway, there was a lot of bad things going on in terms of the road. It was bad, potholes when it used to rain. People used to take a long time to come out and come into the village. And even teachers who are teaching here who have to commute find it very difficult to do their traveling every day.
Una gran diferencia, gran diferencia. En el tiempo que estaba la carretera, que no estaba pavimentada, era demasiado polvo, demasiado. Y era como más despacio, andabas como más lento porque pues no podías ir rápido. Pero ahorita es un gran beneficio, la mera verdad yo creo que es lo mejor que el gobierno ha hecho. Yo estoy muy feliz, muy alegre con ello.
Well, now with this highway, now we have a lot of people, traversing the village. And our people in our village who have a small business like fast food, they're benefiting from that, no? Because people stop there in the morning, have their breakfast, and they go and continue their business.
Have business been increasing? Definitely. Yeah, we have realized when it comes to our customers, right? So we do not have the problems anymore that customer would say if they would call in, okay, where are you located, right? And I would say, we're located entrance of Shipyard. And then they would say, okay, we have to travel the bad road or whatever. So that's not a question anymore.
In the past, I believe these students used to struggle, meaning going on the bus or traveling on pickup. And it took long, they reached late to their classes. But right now, the transportation is accessible and the highway is accessible. So from Guinea Grass to their destination, to Orange Rock, to the high schools in Orange Rock, it takes less time. Right now, I believe teachers, people smile because it only takes minutes to reach from Guinea Grass to Tower Hill.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7. I am Joanna Rodriguez. Cops in Carrizal are currently investigating a deadly collision that took place around midnight on Santa Rita Road near the roundabout. When officers arrived at the scene, they found the lifeless body of Yadira Gonzalez alongside a gray Dodge Caravan. Reports indicate that Gonzalez and her daughter were riding separate bicycles up Santa Rita Road when a minivan traveling at high speed struck Gonzalez, causing her to fall. Specifically, the vehicle reportedly ran over Gonzalez twice, resulting in fatal injuries. The driver was reportedly under the influence of alcohol and was detained on the scene and taken to the Corozal police station. Villagers Stand Creek on Saturday morning at around 4 a.m. as a fatal road traffic accident claimed the life of 53-year-old Pastor Julian Ball, a highly regarded community figure, dedicated husband, and father. The incident occurred between miles 37 and 38 on the Thomas Vincent Highway, close to San Juan Village, as Ball was en route to Mayamopan to pick up helpers preparing food for his son's upcoming wedding. The wedding scheduled for the same day was chosen by his son to coincide with Pastor Ball and his wife's anniversary, making the day even more significant for the family. According to reports, the van Ball was driving collided with a house that was being towed by a truck near Copen Village. While Ball died on the spot, a 13-year-old minor who was traveling along with him received minor injuries.
The officers responded to this report, and upon their arrival, they observed a damaged wooden house that had become dislodged from a trailer that was transporting it, and some 800 feet away in a Pine Ridge, a blue in color passenger van, which also exhibited extensive damage. On board the blue passenger van was Julian Ball, who appeared to have died on impact, and a 13-year-old minor who suffered no injury. Initial investigation revealed that at approximately 4:35 a.m., a convoy consisting of the trailer with the house affixed and a lead vehicle was traveling southbound in the aforementioned area, heading towards Independence Village, when the driver of the lead vehicle observed another vehicle traveling in the opposite direction. The driver of the lead vehicle reported that he sought to signal the driver of the oncoming vehicle by blinking his lights. However, the vehicle continued to proceed, and shortly thereafter he heard a collision. He made checks, and that is when he observed the damaged wooden structure and the blue van that was driven by Mr. Ball off-road in the Pine area.
While the tragic event has left the community in mourning as they remember Pastor Ball's contributions and his dedication to service, checks are being made to verify if the house was being transported under a wide load permit.
Certainly, as a part of the investigative course of actions, checks will be made whether the condition within which the vehicle was being transported complied with the terms of the wide load permit that was issued. That would be the case. Generally speaking, when you are issued with a wide load permit, there is a requirement for there to be a lead vehicle as well as a rear vehicle, and both of these vehicles must have flashing lights, and they must be at a distance that can suitably indicate persons who are oncoming or persons who are behind that wide load is being carried. Also, the wide load itself should have several features that makes it very noticeable from a distance.
In Belize, moving a house or oversized structure is restricted to night hours only, specifically between 9 p.m. and 5 a.m. daily, to reduce daytime traffic disruption and improve safety. All movements require a permit from the Department of Transport and must be accompanied by escort vehicles, such as police or DOT vehicles, to alert other drivers and ensure safe transport. Attorney Tiffany Cadle has publicly voiced her opposition to what she describes as an unlawful customs checkpoint and an excessive use of authority that culminated in a high-speed pursuit along the Philip Golson Highway. In a Facebook Live broadcast that rapidly gained traction, Cadle accused customs officers of acting without reasonable suspicion, asserting that their actions have violated her constitutional right to freedom of movement. Cadle recounted that she was chased from Sandhill village after passing a checkpoint she deemed illegal. She insisted that the officers had no legal grounds to stop her vehicle, asserting her refusal to consent to any search. Section 91 of Belize's customs regulations states that customs officers are authorized to stop and examine vehicles if they possess reasonable suspicion to prevent smuggling or the transportation of prohibited items. However, Cadle questioned whether such suspicion existed in her case, emphasizing that no police officers were present at the scene, only a Belize Defense Force BDF vehicle and an unidentified customs officer on the phone. I drove through and about 5 minutes later I saw police lights, Cadle explained. She claimed that her vehicle was pursued along the highway by customs officers, with one even calling her husband during the chase, which she described as dangerous and intimidating. She further alleged a person with a flashlight not in uniform was at the checkpoint, raising concerns for her safety and that of her mother, who was traveling with her. Earlier that day, Cadle and her mother had traveled from Orange Walk to Crooked Tree to place flowers on her late brother's grave, a memorial marking 6 years since his murder. They had also brought back traditional Belizean treats, rompopo, and black cake to the United States as keepsakes. The situation escalated when they reached Belize City, where police officers armed with rifles blocked her vehicle. Cadle recounted questioning officers about probable cause to search her car, to which they responded negatively. Nonetheless, a female officer eventually conducted a search, uncovering only some black cake and bottles of rum. Cadle contends her constitutional rights were infringed upon during this encounter. We have the right to freedom of movement in this country, she asserted. What reasonable suspicion can there possibly be in Sandhill to question and examine my vehicle? In response, the Customs and Excise Department issued a statement defending the operation, explaining that officers were part of a joint law enforcement effort involving police, the Belize Defense Force, Coast Guard, and immigration. The department maintained that their authority extends beyond port borders and urged the public to cooperate with checkpoints. Cadle announced her intention to seek a formal explanation from the department and plans to pursue legal action, claiming that the officers' actions, particularly cutting her off on the highway and using high beams, endangered her and her mother. She emphasized her plan to file a lawsuit, asserting that her rights had been violated and that the incident was improperly handled. And while Cadle believes the checkpoint was illegal, CEO in the Ministry of Transport Chester Williams says it was not.
I would say the checkpoint is legal. The custom regulation do give custom officers the authority to mount, to stop and inspect vehicles that they believe is carrying uncustom goods. In terms of the details of what happened, I cannot say what happened. I will not comment as to whether or not the lady was right or if she was wrong. I don't know the details. So.
She was saying when she was going toward the checkpoint, nobody made it. So she just went and then they started.
Yeah, well, that's a matter for her and them. I'm not going to comment on that part of it. Yes.
The nation's roads continue to bear a heavy toll from traffic incidents, with recent data revealing a troubling rise in accidents and injuries over the past 2 years. In 2024 alone, there were a total of 3,441 minor accidents across the country, while 2025 has already seen 3,045. In 2024, there were 323 serious accidents, while for 2025, 262 have been documented so far. In the case of fatal RTAs, 2024 recorded 107, with 56 fatalities recorded in 2025 to date. Last year, 26 motorcycle versus vehicle crashes were reported, alongside 22 accidents involving only motorcycles, such as 2 bikes colliding or a motorcycle hitting a bus. In 2025, the numbers reflect similar trends: 13 incidents involving vehicles and motorcycles, 15 motorcycle-only crashes, and 4 with bike-to-bike impacts, including 2 instances of motorcycles colliding with buses. In order to reduce these numbers, the Ministry of Transport is actively addressing concerns surrounding road safety, particularly focusing on the controversial new mandatory motorcycle training program. Critics have raised alarms over the $300 fee, claiming it represents an insurmountable barrier. However, officials clarified that this figure is merely a cap on the maximum amount trainers can charge, not a mandatory fee.
The fees and let them understand that it is not 300 as being painted 300. It is just to say that it is a maximum of 300, which means that you can be charged anywhere from nothing to 300, but the trainer cannot charge you beyond 300, right? And likewise with the training, it is not literally 2 weeks of training, it's 30 hours. If you want to do the 30 hours in 4 days, you can done the training in 4 days. If you want to do 1 hour per day based on your work schedule, or 2 hours per day, that's between you and your trainer, then the training will be extended longer than 3-4 days. So it is done in such a way that it is flexible to accommodate the person, trainer, and trainee.
Will there be different identification cards and maybe stickers to show that person's up for keeping this training if they drive on the highways?
Certainly, if it is that you have a driver's license, especially a newly issued driver's license, it would have mean that you have done the training because you have to be certified to get the license. In terms of those persons who have already had a license and will be driving, they have up to 2 years to do the training. It's not automatic right away. So again, the law did provide some flexibility for that. But again, I want to reiterate the point that if it is that you have been riding for 5 or more years, then with an unblemished record, the training hours reduced to the maximum of 9 hours.
The initiative aims to bolster road safety by ensuring motorcyclists are adequately prepared in maneuvering skills and traffic regulations. To facilitate this, the ministry plans to certify experienced riders, such as club members and those with embellished safety records, to serve as trainers.
46. So even if one were to argue that in some cases motor vehicles are at fault, and I can say that of the accidents that involve motor vehicle and motorcycles, majority of those accidents, the motorcycle driver is at fault. So if we look at the figures, motorcycle alone, meaning motorcycle crash by itself, 22 for 2024 and 15 so far for 2025. That is telling. It shows that the prevalence of motorcycle accidents is high. Whether motorcycle or motorcycle alone, as compared to motorcycle and vehicle. This figure is alarming, and certainly there is a need for us to not be that entity that does nothing when people are dying. We fully understand that people have their concerns. At the end of the day, they see it as money would be spent on training that could be spent on other things. We agree with them, but we truly have to look to see what is going to be the benefit of the training to our young people in our society. So, as we have made some adjustments to the proposed training, where we're saying that if it is that you have been riding for 5 years or more with an unblemished record, then you would not have to undergo the complete 30 hours training, but rather you may do a 9 hours refresher just to bring you up to speed with the new laws and so forth that are going to be a part of the legislative interventions that we're currently doing. And I do believe that that is to some extent reasonable. At the end of the day, we still have to look at this pool of people who have been riding for so many years with unblemished record to be trainers. The training, as I had said before, will not be done by government. So for those persons who were saying that this is a way for the government to get rich, it's not for the government. We're hoping that we'll be able to get people from within the community, from within the cycling clubs, to do the training. So we'll have to find a way that we will be, how we'll be identifying these trainers so that the training can be done. I have asked the
Potential corruption, Williams warned that any trainer found certifying riders without proper instruction would face license revocation.
Just process certificate without going through the training.
Certainly that is a concern that we have. At the end of the day, we're dealing with human beings, right? Human nature dictates that there are going to be those who may want to venture down that road. And we have to make sure that the system is such that when we encounter those people, that we deal with them severely, and that is going to be a part of the mechanism. Again, every certificate issued, there should be that proper integrity behind that certificate. There should be that assurance that the person being certified has undergone the training. If you give a false certification to somebody, you're setting up that person to go and die, right? So you must think about that when you're doing things along that line. So we just have to hope that the persons who are going to be certified as trainers, that they're going to take that responsibility very seriously, because it's a huge responsibility, right? In making sure that they do not certify people who have not completed the hours of training as stipulated by the manual.
This program is just one step in the ministry's ongoing effort to reverse those tragic trends and save lives. Coming up next, UDP endorses Tracy Tigger Panton as party leader. Stay tuned.
Are you dealing with a fracture? At Sugar City Medical Center, we care about your recovery. Introducing our fracture care package. For just $100, you'll receive a free orthopedic consultation, 2 x-rays, and a densitometry ultrasound, all designed to get you back on your feet faster. This offer is only available for patients with fractures and is valid until December 18, 2025. Don't wait. Call Sugar City Medical Center today and take the first step towards your healing, because your health is our priority.
I present to you Her Royal Highness.
I want to try something different.
Nice parking.
Thank you.
You missed a spot right there.
Plot twist.
Wow, you look beautiful.
Giddy up.
Knowing that you make a difference is what keeps us going.
Oh, Philadelphia is starting to feel like home.
Let's make it the best Christmas ever.
It is truly an honor to stand here today as a part of the Self-Pull Repair Training Program. A program that has not only taught us a valuable technical skill, but also empower us as women to step into a field that is often seen as male-dominated. We learn how to open up phones, identify parts, common problems, and even fix these issues on our own. We have not only learned a new trade, but we have proven that women can do anything we set our minds to.
I am forever grateful for this experience. This course was amazing. And I bet these ladies have that knowledge now, and nobody's gonna take away that knowledge that we have.
So it's an opportunity now for you to start to figure out the way forward and to be able to market to your community.
When women are empowered and they're productive, they produce, GDP grows, and we're all more productive and better off as an entire country. So they're investing in you, and they fully expect that you guys are going to go out and work and make your community better, make your families better, and then the country as a consequence is going to be so much better because of your hard work. I want to thank you for believing in yourself, for having the confidence to at least attempt something new. And in the future, I want you to continue to take chances, to challenge yourself, not to underestimate what you can do and try new things, because a lot of times people need just one chance.
A resident of San Felipe Village has been taken into custody and subsequently formally charged after police linked him to the theft of a tool set reported missing earlier this month. The incident dates back to November 15, 2025, when an individual filed a report stating that a Trooper brand socket set had vanished from the back of a pickup truck. The vehicle had been parked and locked in the yard after 6 p.m. on November 14, but by the following morning, the tool set was no longer in its place. According to the complainant, after conducting inquiries within the community, he was informed by a person known only as Americo that two men identified solely as Leon and Walter might be in possession of the missing items. When questioned, one of the suspects reportedly claimed that the tools were with the other individual. Following police investigations, authorities detained a man from San Felipe Village on November 27th. After gathering sufficient evidence and following procedural steps, officers formally arrested and charged him with handling stolen goods. The case continues to be under investigation as authorities work to determine if additional charges will be warranted. Also in Orange Walk, cops have taken into custody a man on charges of obstructing officers following an incident on November 28, 2025 at approximately 7 p.m. The incident took place during routine anti-crime patrols in the neighborhoods of Trial Farm and Progress Street. According to police reports, officers were conducting mobile patrols in the area when they noticed three men standing on Progress Street. Upon stopping their vehicle, the officers approached the individuals and requested identification and a search. While two of the men complied, the third individual reportedly began shouting profanities and attempted to escape. The suspect was quickly apprehended and informed of the charges against him. He was then transported to the Orange Walk police station for processing. At the station, authorities identified him as 24-year-old Darnell Stefan Valentin, a resident of Trial Farm Village in the Orange Walk district. Valentin remains in custody as the investigation continues and charges are prepared. The abrupt departure of Honorable Hossein Mai from his post as Minister of Agriculture has sparked intense public speculation, even as the government maintains that his sudden leave of absence is strictly due to health reasons. Mai, who was at the helm of the Ministry of Agriculture for the past 5 years, formally requested time away from cabinet last week, surprising many within the political and agricultural sectors. While the office of the Prime Minister stated that Mai stepped back to address a health matter, the announcement fueled several theories in the public sphere, including claims that the decision came following pressures from the United States government. These rumors gained traction online but have been dismissed by officials. When questioned about these claims, the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Francis Fonseca, firmly refuted suggestions of any U.S. involvement in Mai's departure.
The minister had said in an interview after he came from his recent travels that in the case of the visa hold for Superintendent Aaron Gamboa, that if the Americans thought it was that serious, they would have brought it to his attention. they did bring to his attention issues with former Minister Mai.
I don't know. Not to my knowledge. Not to my knowledge. As I said, they have not raised that issue with me. I was not in any meetings with the Prime Minister. So I'm not aware that they brought any issue regarding any Minister of Government or any visa issue. You know, generally, the U.S., their policy is that, you know, they give visas, they can revoke visas, that is their power and authority. And they don't have to provide any reasons to individuals, whether you're a police officer or a minister of government or you're a regular citizen. They simply have no legal obligation to provide a reason for why they revoke your visa.
As for widespread reports that the former minister injured his back after falling from a horse, Fonseca said he could not speak directly to Mai's current condition since he has not been in contact with him since the leave was announced. However, he confirmed that the injury was common knowledge among cabinet colleagues.
Yeah, but I'm not sure what your question is. You're asking
You accept that did you see him?
I have not spoken to Minister Mai since his resignation from cabinet. All we have to go by is what has been presented to us, right? In the absence of any other information, any other, statement, any other evidence, what has been presented to us in cabinet is that Mr. Mai resigned, Minister Mai, former Minister Mai, resigned because of health reasons, personal health reasons. In the absence of any other information, I can't speculate beyond that.
Did he come to cabinet over a year ago and say that he fell off his horse?
Yeah, I think it was well known in cabinet. I don't remember if he declared that, but I know in cabinet it was well known that he had had an accident. He had fallen off a horse. So I know he was getting treatment for that. We knew that in cabinet.
After months of internal turmoil, public infighting, and repeated attempts at reconciliation, peace, and unity may finally be returning to the United Democratic Party. Over the weekend, the UDP formally installed a new leadership team, one that marks a historic first for Belize's political landscape. Albert Area representative and leader of the opposition, Tracy Panton, was officially endorsed as the UDP's first female party leader, becoming the first woman to lead any mass political party in Belize. Her elevation cements a political journey and signals a new chapter for the opposition, which has been fractured by internal disputes for more than an year. Also endorsed were Uga Pat as first deputy party leader and Miguel Guerra as second deputy. One of the most closely watched races was at the contest for party chairman, featuring Roosevelt Blades, Senator Sheena Pitts, and former Minister John Saldivar. After a tense and closely monitored vote, Pitts emerged victorious, securing another milestone as the first woman to serve as chairperson of a mass party in Belize. She will now hold dual roles as UDP chairwoman and one of the party's senators.
Well, it has been a long journey. For me, it's been 5 years, putting in the work on the ground, doing what needs to be done in terms of consolidating the base of this party. And so I am certainly very humbled and grateful for the people who continue to support me in this process. I believe so. I believe that we understand what is at stake. We understand where the country is as a party. We need, not want, we need a robust opposition. And to make that happen, it is going to require all hands on deck.
That is obviously my call to action of all those who offer themselves to be of service to the people.
How difficult do you think it will be though? And obviously this is just the start and it's still a long ways before another election. Do you expect that down the road you will have someone challenging you?
Perhaps. That is democracy. That is, what I signed up for. I've been tested and tried for sure. I think that people know that I will lead with integrity and with heart. People want to know that they matter, that they're included, that they have value, and these really represents who I am as a person. So I do believe, and if there's competition, I welcome the competition. I'm not afraid of competition. I never have been. I will do the work, and I think, and I will always bet on the people.
With Panton now at the helm and a new executive in place, the UDP is hoping to chart a renewal political trajectory, one centered on stability, cohesion, and preparation for the next general elections.
I'm going to get to work. The work is now only beginning, and so there's a lot that we have to sort out. We have our shadow cabinet to appoint. We have our central executive committee to appoint. We have to reestablish ourselves at the headquarters. So I will be having a press conference this week so that I can update our media partners on our 100-day plan. The first 100 days, what we intend to do, how we intend to do it. But it's about getting to work, rolling up my sleeves, putting on my boots, and getting in the trenches.
The new party leader is expected to host her very first press conference in the coming days to announce her party's plan for its first 100 days as well as her picks for UDP shadow ministers. Recent reports of U.S. military strikes on vessels carrying alleged narco-traffickers in Caribbean waters continue to stir concern across the region. The operations, which involved U.S. forces intercepting and engaging suspected drug-running boats, have prompted renewed questions about maritime security and the broader implications for neighboring states. Belize's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Honorable Francis Fonseca, says the government is watching the situation carefully. Fonseca confirmed that Belize is in contact with regional partners and allies as officials work to understand the scale of the U.S. operations and any potential impact on transnational criminal networks that often shift routes when enforcement pressures increase. He emphasized that while Belize supports collaborative efforts to combat drug trafficking, actions in the region must align with international law and ensure the safety of smaller states.
Yeah, no, Belize, as I have said before, we are very, very concerned about that issue. We work and coordinate our response very closely with CARICOM. So we've been having a lot of discussions about this issue in CARICOM. Of course, we're very concerned about, the military build-up in the Caribbean Sea. We say it ad nauseum that, we want to keep the Caribbean Sea, the Caribbean, as a zone of peace. So we're very concerned about that issue, particularly over the last few weeks and days. We've seen even increased build-up. And we're certainly hoping that there is no military action in the Caribbean, because that will affect all of us. That will affect our economies. Obviously, will have effect on tourism. We're very, very concerned about that issue, and we're following it very closely. And as I said, we work very closely with CARICOM in terms of our response to these issues.
For now, Belizean authorities continue to monitor developments while reaffirming their commitment to regional security and protection of Belizean waters.
Shop smart for your Samsung devices in Belize and enjoy benefits you won't get anywhere else. When you shop locally for your Samsung, all your devices will be covered by a 1-year local warranty. You won't get that when shopping with the other guys. When in doubt, always look for the Cellular World seal to know you're getting the real deal. Shop with confidence and enjoy your Galaxy knowing that it can be repaired locally at our Samsung Service Center by certified Samsung technicians using original parts and machinery. Even better, enjoy the best LTE experience in Belize, knowing that your Samsung devices are compatible with major local carrier networks. Get the ultimate Samsung Galaxy experience only when you shop from authorized Samsung resellers nationwide.
Hoy te vamos a contar un cuento basado en una historia real. Chao Dengue. Capítulo 1. Síntomas del dengue. Había una vez una familia que, sin saberlo, llevaba consigo un visitante no deseado. No era un monstruo ni un fantasma, pero sí algo que podía debilitar su cuerpo y robarle la energía. Pronto llegaron la fiebre, acompañada de dolor de cabeza, principalmente detrás de los ojos, dolor de cuerpo, náuseas y un sarpullido que se enrojecía por su piel. ¿Qué debían hacer en ese momento? Lo primero era no caer en la automedicación. En la mente del padre resonaban las palabras de los expertos. La clave está en buscar ayuda temprana. Así que, sin dudarlo, se dirigió a la unidad de salud más cercana, donde le brindaron la atención necesaria. Pero la historia no termina ahí. Si alguien en su familia también enfrentaba la misma situación, era enviado a su hogar con una lista de recomendaciones para ser cuidado allí. El reposo se convertía en su mejor escudo y la hidratación en su arma más poderosa. Abundante líquido y, sobre todo, sales de rehidratación oral serían sus aliados en la recuperación. La familia aprendió que la acción temprana podía marcar la diferencia para que esta historia tenga un final feliz. Y colorín colorado, la salud hay que cuidarla en todos lados.
The Ministry of Sustainable Development, Climate Change and Solid Waste Management marked an important milestone on November 28, 2025, when the House of Representatives completed the second and third readings of the Climate Change and Carbon Market Initiatives Bill 2025. This legislation represents a major step in reinforcing Belize's national climate governance system. It establishes the institutions and systems needed to plan, implement, coordinate, and track national climate action. It prioritizes strengthening governance, transparency, and national resilience systems that support Belize's climate commitments. It also establishes a legal foundation for future participation in carbon market mechanisms, with the operational details to be defined through subsequent regulations. Once enacted, the bill will enhance national planning, improve access to climate finance, and support data-driven climate action. It offers important safeguards for communities and landholders who may engage in future climate-related activities and set national rules that benefit youth, civil society, indigenous peoples, and the private sector. As noted by Minister Orlando Habet, this legislation provides Belize with the tools to protect its people and natural resources while positioning the country to take part in the emerging climate and carbon market opportunities. The Office of the Prime Minister and the Ministry of Investment, through the Investment Policy and Compliance Unit, IPCU, launched the pilot project for higher tier global digital services from Belize at the Belize Institute of Management on November 28, 2025. This initiative is a collaboration between the Government of Belize and the consortium, which includes Chamberlain Consulting Socias Limited and RICS Limited. Funding for the project was provided by the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB. The project initially offered 50 spaces to young Belizeans nationwide, but the consortium extended the course offer to 50 additional participants. The training, which began on November 12th and is scheduled to finish on December 19th, consists of a hybrid format with weekly virtual sessions and a 5-day face-to-face boot camp delivering via a learning management system. Training in these skills is essential to succeed in the global digital services environment and aims to improve the BPO sector employees as well as other individuals interested in participating. This will enable the BPOs and other local businesses to provide higher value services to the global market. These courses are being offered free of cost and were designed to be up to date and highly relevant to the changing industry conditions. Present at the project launch were Lincoln Blake, Director, Investment Policy and Compliance Unit, Dr. Dione Chamberlain Miranda, Chamberlain Consulting, Christian Junior Bricks Limited, Sonia Ceballos, Socias Limited, Dr. Sylvia Catus, Galen University, IADB representatives and other representatives from the private sector, government, and academia. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Tuesday, December 2nd, here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. From all of us here at Ctv3, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.